What is up, gentlemen? NYKF31 here, Madden 19. Gonna bring you a couple of online games here in this vid as we kind of go around the NFL here. About a quarter way through the season. Well, we're technically into week 5, so we've played a quarter's worth of games, and Giants and Eagles are kicking off tonight in what's really a pretty important game and a pretty disappointing NFC East. If we look at the standings there, the Eagles are 2-3. They've kind of played into some hard luck and some sleepwalking through the season so far, I think. But you know, they're 2-3, and I believe they're still in first place in the division. Let's take a look. See, in the NFC East. No, the Redskins are 2-2. Dallas is 2-3. Eagles are 2-3. Giants are 1-4. So basically, if the Eagles lose this game, they can still, it doesn't damage them too badly. The Giants lose the game, they're done. I mean, their season is pretty much over, and you'll see that team kind of disintegrate and splinter and fall away. But I expect Philly to get this right. They have to get this right. There's too much talent on that team to still to play the way they're playing too much longer. They've had a weird team. They're 7th in the league in scoring defense and 25th in offense as far as points per game is concerned. That's crazy. There's no way that lasts. No way. I mean, I expect them to right the ship. They lost a game they should have never lost against the Titans. They played just a terrible game against the Bucks and the Vikings. I mean, I just don't believe that this is going to continue for them. The division is not that great, and they're better than this. They're much better than this. And, the Giants, I said in my season preview video that this season could go like this if, their master plan of trying to squeeze a couple of more years out of Eli Manning didn't work. And, it's coming to fruition. Team is just it's not very good. The Giants have been overrated ever since Odell Beckham made that catch against the Cowboys a few years ago. People have had a vastly inflated view of that team. I think they're going to be in a lot of trouble for a couple more years to come because Eli's not getting any younger. They had a chance to draft an heir apparent. They didn't do it. They're going to waste Saquon Barkley for a couple of years. Who knows if Beckham's going to become a pain in the behind and force his way out of there, even though they just paid him. And, the O-line still hasn't been fixed. Defense isn't good. It's just not a good situation there for the Giants. Not a good situation at all. Passing on a quarterback last year's draft could haunt that team for the next decade. The Cowboys, they had a look of a sinking ship as well. This might finally be the year that Jason Garrett cannot be saved and he goes bye-bye. And the Redskins, who knows? What you're seeing with the Redskins is what you see with an Alex Smith team. From time to time, you're going to have ugly L's like that because Alex Smith, he does not go down the field. And there are going to be weeks like that where teams are going to completely disrespect him. They're going to dare him to throw deep. He won't throw deep, and you're forced to play offense in a phone booth. That's just life, and Alex Smith is your quarterback. I think one of the big themes for this season has been the emergence of the young quarterbacks in general. I don't mean just the rookies. I mean guys like Jared Goff continuing to build off of what he established last year. Pat Mahomes stepping in and just lighting up the league. I had some all-22 of the Chiefs I'm just dying to watch, and I want to kind of sink my teeth into. They've just been really impressive. I think the Rams and the Chiefs are the two best teams in the league as of right now. I put the Rams ahead of the Chiefs only because I do not trust the Chiefs defense whatsoever. Even though the Rams had some injury issues with their defense, I trust that side of the ball for them a heck of a lot more than I do the Chiefs. I'm going to throw out what they did against Jacksonville. That's a case of them getting the pumpkin version of Blake Bortles. There's two Blake Bortles. There's good Blake Bortles, and then there's basically normal Blake Bortles. And when you get normal Blake Bortles, you get a game like that where he throws 4 INTs, the D's on the field for the entire game, and against an O that talented, your defense is not going to hold up. And you're going to take an L. That's just the way it is when, Babe Rules is your quarterback. Like the Redskins, they have certain weeks where they're going to look terrible because of the limitations of the way Alex Smith plays and what he can do. Jags the same way. There are going to be weeks where Blake just kills that team. What's going to end up saving the Jags is who else do you believe in that division? I mean, in Indy, you're going to have a 30 for 30 one of these years about how the Colts completely screwed up the Andrew Luck era. I know there's a contingent of folks that thinks that Andrew Luck is overrated. I'm not one of them. I think the Colts have just done a hideous job by that guy. I think they've done about as bad a job as you possibly could do. It's just crazy. You got franchises out here who've been waiting, who've had fans who've been waiting their entire life for one franchise quarterback, like me. And they've had the opportunity to go from Peyton straight to him, and this is what you had to show for it. I mean, come on. Come on. Just a mess. So you can write them off. The Texans, can they be a threat? They could. I have more confidence in the Texans riding their ship and making a run over the next few weeks than I do the Titans. I can't figure out the Titans at all. I've been on the Marcus Mariota ship for quite some time, and quite frankly, I'm running out of alibis for the guy. I thought they'd be past this thing that they do where they have these weird, ugly, disjointed wins and really bad throw the game away type of losses. They've been having those type of games every week, seemingly forever now. So I don't really know how you can have much confidence in them. I don't know how their fans do it. That team must drive their fans insane. It's just, crazy. It's good to see the Browns being scrappy. And again, going back to the young quarterback theme, it's looking like all of these rookie quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, Rosen, Darnold, they all look like they're going to work out from what we've seen so far. They don't look overwhelmed. They look like they have a grasp of what they're doing. They look like they have the intangibles factor. It's just a matter of weathering the ups and downs that they're going to go through over the course of a rookie season. Then it's just a matter of building the team around them. And I left Josh Allen out on purpose for you Bills fans out there. Josh Allen, I think he's trash. I've always felt he was going to be a bust, and he has not done a single thing to make me change my mind. So, that's that. Sorry, Bills fan. But really, it's good that all these young quarterbacks are emerging because, as I said before, Brady, Breeze, Ben, Rivers, Eli, all those guys are going to be exiting stage left. Aaron Rodgers, he's not going to be getting any younger. There's going to be a massive void in the league once those guys are gone and no one can step in and take the mantle, so to speak. The only good QBs in the league can't be Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Matt Stafford, Russell Wilson, and Andrew Luck. That would make for a very bad league. So these guys, we should all be rooting for them to blossom and to be, players for years and years to come. A couple of things that stand out to me on the AFC side is the Cincinnati Bengals at 4-1. If you didn't see the Bengals-Dolphins game, that was one of the strangest games that you will ever see. Dolphins were up 17-0, cruising in that game, and everything just fell apart. I mean, the Bengals scored something like 27 consecutive points. Tannehill threw pick sixes to defensive linemen. It was just nuts. It was one of those, this is why we never trust Ryan Tannehill in the Dolphins games. But then again, do you ever trust the Bengals either? I mean, they're sitting there at 4-1, but does anyone really feel that that's real? The Bengals are one of those teams that, as long as Marvin Lewis is there, there's always going to be the expectation that they're going to self-destruct and at some point lose in typical Cincinnati Bengals type ways. It's just the way it is. What helps them is that this is finally the year that Pittsburgh is having a complete and total meltdown. It's a team-wide meltdown. And you got the Ravens sitting there at 3-2. And you know what? Flacco has not been bad. He's not been terrible. He looks like a guy who's scared to death of losing his job. He's playing like it too. He's got what? He's got something like 8 touchdowns. Yeah, he's got 8 touchdowns, 3 INTs. He's completing a little bit over 60% of his passes. The receivers are quick. The running game isn't that great. They're playing decent defense. They look like a solid wild card contending type of team. They're actually leading the league in scoring defense through 4 weeks. They've done a good job. And of course, you have the Pats there. They're sitting at 3-2 right now, tied with the Dolphins atop of the division. And you get the feeling that they're going to inevitably pull away. And we all expect them to gradually look more Pats-like. The further we get into the regular season, it's just a matter of them integrating guys like Josh Gordon in and getting Edelman back in shape, getting Trey Flowers and Patrick Chung back. They're probably going to be right back in the mix again toward the end of the season. And we're all going to hate it, and we're all going to have to deal with it. Simple as that. It's just the way it is. So that's the AFC. Over in the NFC, we already touched on the NFC East a little bit already, so I won't repeat that. Let me talk about the Saints. The Saints are interesting. They're a really interesting team. And they're you kind of have the sense that they're building steam. They had a crap opener. Horrible opener. But since then, they've reeled off 4 wins in a row. Drew is clicking along, as Drew always does. They've got the #1 scoring offense in the league. And you take away that abortion against the Bucks. Well, they've had 2 abortions. They've had the Bucks, who scored 48 on them, and the Falcons went for 37. And any given week, when the Falcons decide that they want to play offense, that they have some sense, they can do that to you. But overall, they've been stabilizing a little bit on defense. They got the best receiver in the league right now. They can run it. They're looking nice. They are going to be a threat. They're going to be a threat. I really believe that. And I think they have a chance to spoil some plans in Los Angeles and Philly when it comes to the postseason. I also like the Panthers. The Panthers are a fun team. They're an every other year team for some weird reason. It's just the way they are. And I wasn't really in love with Norv Turner coming on as OC. I just didn't think that would fit. But it's been working so far. Christian McCaffrey's averaging over 5 yards per carry. Cam is playing great. Cam's completion percentage is at an all-time high, career high, 65%. And he's still doing Cam things. Norv's done a good job of integrating what he does with what Cam can do. And it's been great. It's been really good. Something like 8 different receivers have caught touchdown passes. They still don't have that one dominant go-to guy. It helps them both that the Falcons are just a complete mess as far as defensive injuries are concerned. The Falcons, it's over for them. They're done. They're going to have to turn that team over a little bit. And, it's just a shame. It's a shame that they did not cash in that Super Bowl. You could live with what's happening now if they did, but the fact that they didn't and the way they didn't get it done, it just stings if you're a Falcons fan. The Bucks, going to be interesting to see what the Bucks do when Jameis comes back. I don't think the Bucks are great. I think Dirk Cutter is likely going to be on the road to getting fired, if not this year, then the following year. I don't think the Bucks have much there. Great offensive tools and weapons. They still haven't figured out the defense yet. They still don't cover anyone. They still don't get a pass rush on anyone. It's just a nightmare on the defensive side of the ball for the Bucks. It has been for a really long time now. And until they get that fixed, Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson, Jameis Winston, O.J. Howard won't matter a bit. Simple as that. And last but not least, we have the NFC North. The Bears look like one of the most improved teams in the league, and quite frankly, they are. They look great. Trubisky, again, one of these young quarterbacks who you get a coach that has a clue of what they're doing and tailors the offense to meet the strengths of the quarterback as opposed to trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. you get this. You get a quarterback who's playing great. Trubisky looks great. He has some issues here and there. He's still growing, but he looks like he has a future, as opposed to last year when you're like, just like Goff, but not quite as bad as Goff was. But you get the idea. And you got Khalil Mack out here who's looking to make examples out of people. I mean, my God, still can't believe the Raiders did what they did, but they did it, and the Bears are more than happy to reap the benefits of that move. I mean, my God, every week he's wrecking someone's offense, nearly by himself. Just a great, great player. Great player. The Vikings and the Packers, they're a little bit harder to figure out. They're both kind of like the Eagles in a way, where they had some weird games go against them and also playing kind of sloppy and lethargic at times. If I had to pick one or the other to snap out of it, I don't know. I kind of want to pick the Vikings because of my Harrison Smith homer, but the Pack has some stuff going from as well, and they have Aaron Rodgers, who's, as long as he stays in one piece, could be the difference between the two. Kirk Cousins has been really good for the Vikings. He hasn't been the problem at all for them. The receivers are great. Thielen and Diggs are as good as you're going to get as a tandem. I mean, it's hard to do much better than those two guys. The drop-off from them has been the defense. The defense has been getting ripped apart, which is something I did not see coming. And if they don't get it fixed, then the Packers could beat them out. Very possible. The Lions are like that, too. Another team that's been pretty good offensively and just getting singed on defense. I really don't think the Lions are a bad team at all. The opener against the Jets kind of, I think, soured people on them early, but I don't think they're nearly as bad as that. I think they're closer to the team that we've seen out of them the past couple of weeks. Should have won the Cowboys game. They beat the Pats. They beat the Packers last week. I think they're a solid team. I just think they're also in a beast division. They have two winnable games coming up, Dolphins and against the Seahawks, before they have to play the Vikings. But if they keep on getting torched on D every week, they're gonna be a decent team that finishes 7-9 or 8-8. But if a bounce or two goes the other way, they could be 9-7 or 10-6. The margin for error is very, very small in the NFL, as we all know. So there you go. This game has to wind down, and this trip around the league is winding down. This guy here is on this last drive. Well, I'll let this bad boy run. Let to hear what you guys think, and I will talk to y'all later. Peace.
And now we won't see a play. Now Michael Vick. And a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by D. Ryan to throw. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. Now, if you're going to get rid of it, you better get outside the pocket.
Yeah, you have to get outside of that tackle-to-tackle box, right? Get out there, and then you can do it legally, but he wasn't able to do so, and they end up losing the down as well.
And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So that'll do it from here for Charles Davis and the rest of our crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching Madden Ultimate Team on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com/Madden. It's a win for the Jets as we say so long from MetLife Stadium.